and welcome to episode number 26 of the Cheesesteaks and Controllers podcast, featured by Fox PHL The Gambler, 102.5 FM, 1480 AM, and iHeartRadio, Philadelphia. My name is Jason Fanelli. I am the Esports and Gaming Insider for Fox PHL The Gambler, and we are all about the Game Awards in episode 26. I was planning on doing some other stories like Nintendo being jerks and stuff like that, but now that the show is over, I feel like we should just get into it and deep dive on this entire event. First segment will be the awards, second segment will be the reveals, and the speed run at the end will be my favorite announcements of the night. So, let's get right into the 6 in 60 seconds. Nintendo cancels a Splatoon 2 North American contest live stream over support for the free Melee movement stemming from another cancellation earlier in the month. Call of Duty Mobile 2020 World Championships needed to be canceled to protect the health and safety of those involved, previously being planned to be held live in Los Angeles. And 100 Thieves defeated Team Solo Mid in the Valorant First Strike North America Finals, 3-1, led by Hiko's 73 kills. Elsewhere, Halo Infinite confirmed by 343 Industries to be coming in fall 2021, with new details revealed via blog on the Halo Waypoint website. World of Warcraft Shadowlands has become the highest-selling PC game of all time, moving 3.7 million units on day one. And finally, CD Projekt Red has added more disclaimers to Cyberpunk 2077, which launched this week, after Game Informer editor Liana Ruppert warned of possible seizure triggers. Those are your 6 in 60 seconds. Yes, that is the 6 in 60 seconds. Big shout out to my friend Liana Ruppert at Game Informer for changing the industry as we know it with that excellent report on epileptic seizures that could be caused in Cyberpunk 2077. She herself suffered one while she was playing the game and chose to continue on, felt more coming and had to stop playing for certain parts at a time. She has said in tweets after that the outlet was completely supportive of her decision and would have let her stop playing if she chose, did not force her to do anything. Just goes to show the kind of people that are working at Game Informer right now are good, dedicated, hardworking people who support each other in everything that they do. And that is the kind of workplace that you need to foster success and growth. But the main story tonight is the Game Awards 2020 have now finished. I'm recording this on Thursday night just after they ended. And it was a great night for games, a great night to be a gamer. Lots of awesome things to get into. With this first section we're going to talk about is the awards themselves. There were multiple awards given out tonight across all different categories, and we're going to go through exactly who the winners were, starting in the esports section. So first, best esports team, I thought for sure would go to the San Francisco Shock for the 2-time defending Overwatch League champions, but G2 Esports from League of Legends ended up being the winner, which is very strange considering they didn't even win the League of Legends World Championships. Damwon Gaming did, but who am I to judge? Best esports host went to Shox, which does not surprise me at all. I was rooting for Golden Boy, but Shox is just one of the top League of Legends commentators in the world, so I get that. Best esports game, League of Legends beat out all comers, which does not surprise me in the least. Just as best esports event being League of Legends World Championships 2020 not surprise me either. Call of Duty League Championship might have snuck in there, being the first year, and despite being all online, going off without a hitch. But the World Championships in Shanghai were just absolutely incredible. And with the report this week that 45.9 million people peak concurrent were watching League of Legends World Championships 2020, it's hard to not choose that as the winner. Best esports athlete went to Showmaker, one of the winners of the Damwon Gaming team of the Worlds 2020 this year. That actually surprised me too. I was campaigning heavily for Shotzi from the Dallas Empire simply because he was a former Halo pro who went to Call of Duty, I think I've mentioned this before, and became the MVP of the league and led the team to the first ever championship. And I felt like that needed to be rewarded somehow. In this more generalized situation. But nope, Showmaker from Damwon Gaming, the League of Legends World Champions, was the choice, and I get that too. League of Legends is one of the top esports in the world, as shown by the 2 other awards it won, and he is very much deserving of the award. And finally, Best Esports Coach, which this one surprised me too. I thought Rambo, the Dallas Empire coach, would have a shot. Either of the coaches from the League of Legends would have a shot. And even Krusty, the San Francisco Shock 2-time defending champion coach, would have a shot. But the award actually went to Zonic of CSGO, which just goes to show how far CSGO has fallen here in North America. I'm not even sure who Zonic is. I probably should know, but for some reason I do not. So congratulations to Zonic. Really showed me a thing or two. Showed me where my limitations are and where I need to start working on learning some people, because if he's pulling Best Esports Coach in these awards, he is definitely someone that I should be paying attention to. Finally, one of the other awards for people were Content Creator of the Year. This one did not go the way I thought it would. It does make sense if you look at the statistics. This person was the highest growing channel on YouTube streaming this year. But the winner is Valkyrae from YouTube. Excellent content creator. I was personally rooting for Alana Pierce or Jayan Lopez. Nothing against Valkyrae. I've just never watched her stuff before. But congratulations to her. And she is obviously well-deserved if her YouTube numbers are any indication. The first game award we're going to talk about is the best debut game. This was a highly contested category, in my opinion, between some very, very good games. The winner being Phasmophobia, a horror game that has taken the streaming community by storm. Definitely worthy of the award. I personally was rooting for Carrion. I think Carrion was an excellent, excellent game from Phobia Studios, ironically enough, this year. But Phasmophobia takes the win. Congratulations to them. Looking forward to see what they come up with content-wise in the coming year. Best multiplayer. This was a bit of a shock to some people, not to me, because I predicted it. But out of Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Valorant, and Animal Crossing New Horizons, it was Among Us that emerged with best multiplayer. Among Us really, really taking the gaming world by storm this year with its excellent multiplayer gameplay. I was very excited to see this one win. It deserves every award it gets. And honestly, I feel like everyone should be playing Among Us. I would love to get a group together to play Among Us online with microphones and stuff like that. It just seems really, really, really cool, and best experienced with a group that you're actually familiar with. The next award, Best Sports and Racing. I had this. I talked to John Jansen on Wednesday night previewing the Game Awards, and I was right on the money with this one. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 took Best Sports Racing this year over FIFA, NBA, F1 2020, and Dirt 5. Thought F1 was a bit of a dark horse here because it was so popular critically, but Tony Hawk's was just too good. Tony Hawk was too good this year. That nostalgia trip was too much, and it takes the trophy for Best Sports Racing at the Game Awards. Next was Best Sim and Strategy. I thought Crusader Kings might take this one, just because that game was so well received when it first came out. But Microsoft Flight Simulator is the winner, I guess, for its more general appeal. Being able to get in the plane and go wherever you want in this pandemic age is certainly a lost art. So I can understand now in retrospect why Flight Simulator would take the Best Sim and Strategy category. Best Family Game. This one was a shoo-in for me, just an absolute knockout of the park. The losers were Crash Bandicoot 4, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live, Minecraft Dungeons, and Paper Mario, and the winner was Animal Crossing New Horizons. And if you didn't know who was nominated, and I said who's going to win the Game Award in 2020 for the Best Family Game, you would have said Animal Crossing without even breaking a sweat. Wouldn't even have had to have said any nominees. So, of course, that's the one that wins. Best Fighting Game. This one kind of didn't sit right with me. The nominees were Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, and Under Night In Birth EXE, late, bracket CL-R bracket. That's what it's called. Unicler is the abbreviation. I don't understand why it's called all that either, but that's what happens. I was hoping for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus because it was an original fighting game. There were not many others like that this year. The only original pure fighting game of the mix. But it went to Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, which, fine. fine. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Not that Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is bad. It's not. It's very, very, very good. But it came out in 2019. Came out in 2019. Ultimate just added 3 characters and some balance. It was not a full-fledged fighting game. It was just an expansion to one that had already come out, and that doesn't really sit well with me. Again, deserving of every award it gets. It's a fantastic fighting game. But I would have given the nod to something a little more original. But that's just me. Next up, best role-playing games. We had Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. No surprise here, Final Fantasy VII Remake is the choice. Final Fantasy VII Remake is an excellent role-playing game and an excellent Final Fantasy game, so winning role-playing makes a lot of sense here. Congratulations to them. Best action-adventure game went to The Last of Us Part 2, beating out Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. No surprise here. One of many awards that The Last of Us Part 2 won on the night. I haven't said its name much so far, but I will be saying it a lot more often towards the end of the recap here. That was Action Adventure. Best Action went to Hades over Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx and IO 2, and Streets of Rage 4. Might be a shock to some people. I really thought that Half-Life Alyx might take it with its VR gameplay. And Doom Eternal was obviously a very strong candidate there too. But Hades pulls it out, which I guess makes sense. It's nominated for Game of the Year, so it should be the best action game or the best game in its genre. But I thought maybe it might fall short here and pick up the pace somewhere else. That did not happen, so best action to Hades. Congratulations to them. The Innovation in Accessibility Award, which highlights games that go out of their way to make them more accessible to everyone who can play them for multiple different potential options and ideas. Last of Us Part 2 took this one pretty handily. All of these games do a good job of catering to those who are less fortunate, they're disabled or whatever their ailments are. But Last of Us Part 2 just knocked out of the park with all of the deep options that they had. So that was the winner, and it should have been. Next, Best VR or AR. Half-Life Alyx won this. I don't really need to get into much more detail because what other VR, AR games were there? Half-Life Alyx was the clear winner there. Makes sense. Best community support. This is a game where the community outreach is top-notch, and the community feels supported throughout the year. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout took that one, which makes perfect sense because their social media accounts are brilliant. But Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant were the runner-ups there. Best mobile game, best game for your phones. Also saw a win for Among Us, beating out Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix. That was a nice thing to see for best mobile game. Among Us did start as a mobile game with only local multiplayer. You can only play with people in the same room as you, but has now evolved into the massively popular game that we know now. So congratulations to Inner Sloth for the best mobile game. Best indie game, we had Carrion, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. Hades took this one, which should not have been a surprise to me, but I guess I overthought it because I was thinking Spiritfarer might sneak in and take it. Congratulations to Hades. Best ongoing game. These are games that came out previously but have ongoing missions or seasons or what have you that make them continually interesting. The winner here was a bit of a shock. We had Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. I really thought Fortnite would take this. I really, really did. I thought this was Fortnite's award to lose. But No Man's Sky pulls out the surprise win. Hello Games getting the W here. It's well-deserved. The game is very much approved from when it first launched. But I did not think it would take the award tonight, and I stand very much corrected. So congratulations to No Man's Sky. Games for Impact. This is a very, very cool category where they talk about games that have made an impact socially and made an impact towards people and the way they treat others and stuff like that. Tell Me Why, which is Dontnod's episodic adventure starring a transgender playable character, was the winner here. I thought If Found would be the one to take the award, but turns out I was mistaken. Best Performance was a very interesting category. You had Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, Laura Bailey, who played Abby in The Last of Us Part 2, Daisuke Tsuji, who played Jin in Ghost of Tsushima, Logan Cunningham, who played the titular Hades in Hades, And Najee Jeter, who played Miles Morales in Spider-Man Miles Morales. A lot of people thought Ashley Johnson was a shoo-in. They thought her reprise as Ellie was going to be a shoo-in for this award, and I half agreed with them. I personally would have voted for Brianna White, who was Aerith in Final Fantasy VII Remake, but she wasn't even nominated, which is unfair. But Laura Bailey as Abby took the award, which, considering how controversial Abby is as a character, taking the win in this category is very, very surprising. Congratulations to her, of course. It was well-deserved. I thought Abby was a very great character, fully realized, and one of the most complete character arcs in a video game I've ever played. But I did not think she would take this one, but she did. So congratulations to Laura Bailey. Best audio design went to The Last of Us Part 2, yet another award for that game. I highly agree with this, having played most of the game, if not all of it, with headphones on. That stuff was spooky, and it was spooky fast. So congratulations there. Best score and music, my favorite award of the night, was also the first award in the pre-show, was given to Final Fantasy VII Remake, and what else can you say about that? 7 Remake soundtrack is fantastic. The way it incorporates older tunes into new tracks or reimagines the older tracks is just out of this world. So congratulations to Final Fantasy VII Remake on Best Score. Best Art Direction went to Ghost of Tsushima, which again is, you can't touch that. You cannot touch how stylish Ghost of Tsushima is compared to the other games. Ori has style, Hades has style, 7 Remake has style, and Last of Us Part 2 has its own style. But Ghost of Tsushima is just far and away better, and deservedly won the award. Best Narrative went to The Last of Us Part 2. That might be the most controversial award of the night. A lot of people were very turned off by the story of The Last of Us Part 2. I was not one of them. I thought it was excellent. I have friends who spoiled themselves before the game came out and have not played it simply because they think it is, not a great story. But I disagree with them, and it is more than worthy of this award. I had predicted 7 Remake would take it because of how they adjusted the ending and how that game progressed, but I ended up being wrong. No problems there. Best Game Direction went to The Last of Us Part 2, which I predicted as well because it was basically a movie that you got to play, so having Best Direction there makes perfect sense. And finally, Game of the Year, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2 saw The Last of Us Part 2 break the heavy favorite curse that has beset the Game Awards since 2018 and take home Game of the Year for 2020 at the 2020 Game Awards. Congratulations to Neil Druckmann, Naughty Dog, Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, everybody who worked on that game, everybody who been a voice in that game, everybody who had anything to do with that game. Congratulations to you. You are well-deserved, and I look forward to the next thing that you do, be it another Last of Us game, be it something else. You are all excellent, you are all amazing, and you are all worthy of this award. So congratulations to Naughty Dog for Last of Us Part 2 being the Game of the Year at the Game Awards 2020. Until next year, it will stand as the best game of the year, the previous year, and it is well-deserved, even if some people don't exactly agree with me. So normally I would move on to On Tap here, but there's not a whole lot on tap to speak of this week. So I'm going to jump right into the second topic of the day, and that is the things that were announced at the Game Awards 2020. We had 38 total announcements between the main show and the pre-show, 6 of which in the half-hour pre-show, 32 in the main show. I'm just going to run down them here for you, game by game, from first to last, and let you know which ones you should keep an eye on. So first, out of Devolver Digital was Loop Hero. It looked like an 8-bit dungeon crawler style game where your character keeps coming back, so that was pretty cool. Tachia, which was based in New Caledonia, I believe, is where these development studios from, took a lot of inspiration from Moana. If you like that movie, you may very well like checking out this game. Sea of Solitude Director's Cut is an extended cut of the excellent platformer that came out on EA Play not too long ago. Also coming to Switch, which is very exciting. Shady Part of Me was a puzzle platformer that was made available today, the first shadow drop of the day. And Century Age of Ashes took a multiplayer spin on dragon-based combat, basically looking like Panzer Dragoon from the old Sega game, but in multiplayer combat format. Very interesting structure, if you ask me. That was the pre-show. Now we move into the main show, and man, did the main show start off with a doozy. Sephiroth, the main villain of Final Fantasy VII, is the next DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Kicked off the show with that, and that is a good way to make a first impression. The next announcement was the initiative from Microsoft Studios, the highly secretive studio made up of industry devs from around the industry, announcing Perfect Dark, a return for Joanna Dark as their first game as a studio. This is very exciting for me. I love when new IPs get another chance, and Perfect Dark definitely is deserving of that, so let's see what happens there. The very next game was Back 4 Blood, which basically looked like Left 4 Dead 3, but made by an entirely different studio and set in an entirely different place. Back 4 Blood, I've already signed up for the closed beta. I suggest you do too. And that is a definite something that you need to be looking at in the aftermath of the Game Awards. Next, we had a couple of smaller games, or games that people aren't really having their eyes on. Scavengers announced a closed beta. The Callisto Protocol is by a brand new studio called Striking Distance. Looks like a Dead Space sort of survival horror game, which is pretty cool. Warhammer 40k Darktide showed off its first ever gameplay, while Open Roads was the newest game by the Fulbright Company, who's known for Tacoma and Gone Home. And that looks like a mother-daughter sort of adventure voiced by Kerry Russell and Caitlin Devers, so that's pretty neat. Disco Elysium The Final Cut brings Disco Elysium to consoles, first to PlayStation and then to Xbox and Switch, after some settings are adjusted. Very excited for that. Disco Elysium is apparently one of the best games on PC right now. So to be able to play that on the go is very much worth it. New Dragon Age teaser showed us a little bit of what's going on in that universe, but not a whole lot as far as gameplay is concerned. Endless Dungeon, which is an isometric dungeon crawler set in the Endless Space universe, I feel like could take up a lot of my friends' time. Crimson Desert, a frankly impressive MMO trailer by Pearl Abyss, who makes Black Desert Online. This was an amazing piece of video for Crimson Desert, to the point where I'm actually interested in playing it, despite having never played a MMO in my life. So may have to look into that a little bit. Then we had a couple of little announcements. The Swedish Chef, yes, the Muppet Swedish Chef, will be added to Overcooked All You Can Eat as a cook. And Warframe is partnering with Epic Games to unleash Unreal Tournament skins for your weapons into the game for absolutely free. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War showed off its Season 1 changes, including the latest island for Warzone players to battle on. That looks pretty cool. I haven't played Warzone in a while, but the new trailer looked pretty cool, and I'm hoping fans of Warzone have something to be excited about. Season was a PS5 exclusive indie game from Scavenger Studios with a very striking art style, but not a whole lot known in the way of gameplay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Ark 2, starring Vin Diesel of all people, emerged next. We weren't sure what we were getting into other than, this is a Vin Diesel joint, so we'll see what he can do. But there was dinosaurs and monsters and all kinds of stuff, so that's one I'll definitely be keeping my eye on, even not having played Ark Survival Evolved for very long. Season 3 of Fall Guys is a winter wonderland with reindeer and elf costumes and other things like that. That's very cool. Elite Dangerous Odyssey is a spacefaring game that will take players on the ground for the first time in Elite Dangerous history. Evil Dead the game looked like 4-player co-op zombie bashing, but with Ash Campbell and company. That was really cool. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection brings back the notoriously hard Ghosts and Goblins franchise to the Nintendo Switch, while Capcom Arcade Stadium is apparently multiple bundles of old arcade games sold separately, which is great, but not, wonderful. We saw some footage from Flight Simulator on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X, which is really cool. Flight Simulator, for what a little bit that I've played on the PC, is very, very impressive. And if you really need to scratch that itch for traveling, this is the way I would suggest to do it at the current moment. That game is really, really cool. Returnal from Housemarque, a PS5 or PlayStation studio known for a game called Resogun on the PS4, showing off Returnal, which is like their Prometheus style excavation in space. That looks really, really neat. It Takes Two got its first gameplay. Now, this is a co-op style love-based game by Joseph Fares and Hazelight Studio, which is definitely very interesting based on this trailer. It was longer than most other trailers, really gave a lot of cool information, showed off how the physics and the mechanics work in this world, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. So It Takes Two definitely impressed me a little bit on this show. Next Elder Scrolls Online expansion is Gates of Oblivion, going back to Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion on the Xbox and PC. That's very exciting. Oblivion is definitely a fan favorite, but the Elder Scrolls Online is just not for me, so I kind of glazed over that one. A new trailer for Monster Hunter Rise didn't really show off anything fairly interesting, and then we got a trailer for a game called Evil West, which is a Van Helsing mixed with extreme Western themes. That was pretty cool. Among Us next map is the airship, which will add ladders and will add shortcuts and stuff like that. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Fortnite had a trio of interesting announcements. First, that Master Chief will indeed be a skin. That Blood Gulch, the classic Halo map, is coming to Fortnite Creative to play Capture the Flag. And that Daryl Dixon and Michonne from The Walking Dead will also be skins for Fortnite in the coming weeks, which is quite a 1-2-3 punch of skins between Master Chief from Halo and Michonne and Daryl from Walking Dead. Really, really cool. Fortnite's really firing on cylinders right now, and it's really nice to see. Xbox Game Pass announced some new games coming to the service soon, specifically Among Us for the PC version, Skyrim, which is very, very cool, and Yakuza's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So pretty soon, you'll have the entire Yakuza saga right at Xbox Game Pass for you to check out at your leisure. The last two announcements of the night were the Ruined King, a League of Legends story, showed off some gameplay, despite being delayed from beginning of 2021 to simply 2021. And finally, a minute-long teaser for a new Mass Effect game, which said Mass Effect will continue, was the final world premiere shown by Jeff Keighley on this night. That was definitely one to perk your spirits up after what was a decently timed show. Very, very, very interested in that Mass Effect game. It showed some old school characters. It showed some interesting locales. It showed a lot of really cool stuff. And I am definitely excited for that one. But we'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. So those were your announcements. That was everything that was shown at the Game Awards this week. If you have a specific game that you're excited for or one that you want to ask more questions about, feel free to hit me up at Big Man Fanelli, and I would be happy to do so and talk your ear off about video games for as long as I can, because honestly, that's what I like to do. I love video games, love talking about video games, love playing video games, and this was a very, very much a celebration of that for the end of a year that was very, very difficult. This was a slice of normalcy that I very much appreciated. And I hope that Jeff Keighley continues to learn from this and keep this event running in the future. So Game Awards 2020 are done. The games that have been announced, the news is here, the awards have been given out. Was a very, very good award show. Very, very happy with everything that was shown. But we have to get into the best announcements of the night. So let's get into the speed run. I'm going to rank my top 5 announcements from 5 to 1, and y'all can discuss at your leisure. Number 5 is Perfect Dark, and I ranked this so low only because I don't really know a whole lot about Perfect Dark. I know it was the successor to GoldenEye, but I didn't actually play Perfect Dark myself. I was very much a GoldenEye man, and that's it. It's very exciting to see Joanna Dark back. Very excited to see where that franchise goes. We'd like to see some gameplay in the near future, but I don't expect to. But yes, Perfect Dark is my number 5 announcement from the night. Number 4 is Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Very, very, very cool to see that classic franchise coming back for the Switch. I'm going to play the heck out of that. It's going to frustrate the heck out of me. I'm going to throw stuff. I know I'm going to throw stuff. If I can admit that I'm going to throw stuff before I actually throw it, then maybe I won't do it. But you understand, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection is a classic, and I have to play it to completion. So number 4 is Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Number 3 is the Fortnite news. Master Chief is very cool. Blood Gulch is very cool. Walking Dead is very cool. I've gotten so big into Fortnite lately. It's almost scary. It really is. I've played probably more Fortnite in the last week and a half than I ever had when it came out. So Master Chief coming, Walking Dead coming, definitely things that pique my interest. So that's why it's number 3 on my countdown. Number 2 is Mass Effect. 100,000 million%. It's Mass Effect. Mass Effect is one of the best series I've ever played. It will always be one of the best series I've ever played. Even if that controversial ending doesn't sit well with you, it sits fine with me. It's a really, really, really cool franchise that I highly suggest you take a chance on if you can. Granted, Andromeda is not quite up to the par of, say, Mass Effect 2, but both are still really, really good games that tell a really, really good story. And with this new one coming out, now is the time to get yourself caught up on everything that is happening in the world of Mass Effect, so you should do it. And finally, my number 1 announcement from the show. This should not be a surprise to anyone who knows me at all. Number 1 announcement from the Game Awards 2020 was the very first announcement in the main show, and that is Sephiroth being Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's 8th DLC pack. That is so cool. That is so exciting to me. I did not expect him at all. I was doing a lot of debating with the team at Ven, where I've started writing about esports and video games and talking to other people about who this DLC pack could be. Crash was a big choice, Crash Bandicoot. Sora from Kingdom Hearts was a very popular choice. Waluigi is always a popular choice, even though I don't understand why people insist for that character to be in Super Smash Bros. He does not deserve it. He does not deserve a spot in the game, but whatever. Sephiroth was a out of left field choice, but man, has it already seemed like it's the right one. He is just absolutely brutal in his reveal trailer. His music is iconic. His final smash looks to be turning into the final boss of Final Fantasy VII, save for Sephiroth, which is fine. But if he does not use the full 2.5 animation, 2.5 minute animation for his main attack, Supernova, I do not want him to come out. I feel like that is the only way his final smash should go. It should be the full Supernova with all the equations and basically making you sit there and wait to take a bunch of damage before you can move on. So definitely put that in there, please. But the news that has come out since next week on the 17th at 5 o'clock, they'll have a full blowout of how he plays and when we can play as him and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Also did not expect a new character in Super Smash Bros. To come out before the end of the year. I thought we were done. I really did. I thought we were going to get 2 in 2020 and 4 in 2021 to kind of counteract the coronavirus pandemic. But if they want to give me new Smash DLC now, I am more than happy to accept it. Please just hand it out, and I will gladly listen to it or gladly play it as long as you would want me to. I really think that Sephiroth is a great fit. The video is great. The footage is great. But that leaves three more places for a Super Smash Bros. DLC character to go. And I honestly do not know who the best choices are now. It could be anybody. I thought there was a certain archetype when Joker was announced last year. Joker kind of blew the doors off for everybody else, including Banjo-Kazooie. But nope, it's just whoever the best choices are. The choices are already made, and we're going to have to live with them. And Sephiroth as a Super Smash Bros. DLC is definitely a great choice because he kicks some serious butt in that first trailer. I don't understand why they felt the need to make it seem like he impaled Mario, though. Looks like he thrust the sword all the way through Mario, and Mario's sitting there motionless, and then you just realize, oh, it was over his shoulder. It was in a little sleeve thing. Now, that's cool. Please don't kill Mario, Sephiroth. I would appreciate it if you did not kill the most important and popular mascot in video game history. Just come to Super Smash Bros., beat them up, and leave. But don't kill anyone when you get here with your massive sword. Thank you. But yes, Sephiroth definitely captured the world by storm. Became a trending topic on Twitter, both him and his music. And they saved the best announcement for first, in my eyes. 100% Sephiroth in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is my number one announcement of the event. So with that, actually, that is the end of episode 26 of the Cheesesteaks and Controllers podcast. It's a quick one this week, just going over the full recap of the Game Awards and everything that happened, everything you need to pay attention to. I don't normally like going this short, but I've gone late a couple of weeks, and I feel like I owe Sean Brace. And secondly, this event just dominated my thought process from like 4 o'clock on this Thursday night that I'm recording. So I felt like covering this event and talking about everything that happened and giving my 2 cents, I thought was the best way to get through this because, or the best way to present this episode, I should say, because it is such a big event for the gaming industry, both with the awards and the reveals. And it has become one of the marquee moments in the video game industry's year. And in a year where we lost every other marquee moment, from E3 to Comic-Cons to stuff like that, we needed this. And Jeff often talks about how there was a lot of struggles and a lot of problems. He thought he might have to cancel or postpone a couple of times, and he was worried about the pandemic affecting this event. But that did not happen. I don't know if he's ever going to hear this, if he's ever going to hear my words on this podcast, but Mr. Keeley, if you do, the Game Awards 2020 were an obvious labor of love and support and foundation that many, many people worked on, and all of them achieved making things feel normal for a couple of hours. I wasn't worried about COVID. I wasn't worried about pandemic restrictions. I wasn't worried about touching or bumping into someone. None of that. All I was worried about was sitting and getting gaming news for 2 and almost 3 hours. And that is a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing, a beautiful service that these people provided who work on the show. And all of my kudos goes to them for putting this on for us and bringing us all of this excellent gaming news that we can now digest going into the holiday season. And then come back strong in 2021, fresher than ever, and talking about the best and brightest in video games and esports as usual. So, this has been episode 26 of the Cheesesteaks and Controllers podcast, presented by Fox PHL The Gambler, 102.5 FM, 1480 AM, iHeartRadio Philadelphia. Next up, you have Liberty Line Radio talking about those Eagles. Jalen Hurts is the new starter in Philadelphia. We'll see how he does on Sunday against the Saints. So listen to Liberty Line for the latest analysis on that. Watch your Eagles on Sunday. Hopefully they can take the Saints out, and this Hurts kid will be a big win, but we'll see. And in the meantime, keep playing, keep gaming. I will be back next week for more. And in 2 weeks, we're looking for the end of the year award show, so look out for that. Thank you so much for listening, especially if you're listening right now. I do appreciate you sticking around to the bitter end. And I hope that you are entertained and educated, if nothing else, by this podcast here. So, that was episode 26. I am Jason Fanelli. I hope you all have a great week. I will talk to you next week. I don't know if I'll talk to you the week after, but I will be talking to you next week. See you later.